Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Tanya with yanxa.creations, and if you're new, welcome. Here I love to do two things, and that is craft and experiment. In today's video, I'm going to be answering one of y'all's questions. So somebody asked me about my 12 by 12 rhinestone grid. So they asked what size would they need to reduce that 12 by 12 grid to make SS6 rhinestones fit into it. So that 12 by 12 grid was designed for SS10 rhinestones, but I thought this was a really good question, and I thought, hey, maybe this is workable. So I have a few videos that I have done previously where I show you how to take my rhinestone grids, which is a hack for being able to turn any SVG into a rhinestone template right in Cricut Design Space. So if you haven't seen any of those videos, they're going to be right here and they're going to be listed in the description. So if you're interested in seeing that, go ahead and check out these videos. You download a rhinestone template, whether it's my 8 by 8 grid or my 12 by 12 grid. You install that you upload that into Cricut Design Space. You add the SVG of your choice and you slice it from there. And with a few edits, your SVG is converted into a rhinestone template. So again, if you haven't seen it, check out the videos in the description and at the end of this video. So this video is going to be focused on transforming that 12 by 12 SS10 rhinestone grid to a SS6 rhinestone grid. So let's jump into it. So we are in Cricut Design Space and I am in my images folder. So I just scrolled down until I found my rhinestone template. All right. So this is the grid and this is the black box. So we just hide that black box. We don't need it. And we will just have our grid. Okay. So our grid here is showing up as 27 by 27 basically. So in order for you to make it an SS10 rhinestone, it needs to be 13 by 13. So you can just put 13 in the width and it will change the height. So looking at this is actually now perfect for you to create a design with SS10 rhinestones. All right. But you wanted to know how can you convert this to an SS6 rhinestone grid. You can, but remember it will not be 12 by 12 anymore. 13 by 13 because we have this outer edge, but the inner portion is going to be 12 by 12. So in order to do that conversion, what we're going to do, we're going to jump over here and we're going to go into shapes and we're going to get a circle. All right. Now, when we did the SS10 rhinestones when we created that, each of these holes will be 0.123 inches. For an SS6, each hole needs to be 0.075 inches, all right, or 1.1 to 2 millimeters. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this circle and we are going to change its size to 1.9 to 2, either 1.9 or 2 millimeters. So I have this set in inches. So I'm going to change that to 0.075 inches. And this little dot here will be essentially our SS6 rhinestone. So what we're going to do, let's change this color to make it a little bit easier to see. Let's go with this red. And we can bring it over here. And we're going to zoom up. But from here, you can see that the size is very different. So we're going to zoom up. All right. Let's scroll up. All right, let's zoom in some more so we can see clearly. So we're at 300. So we can see there's a significant difference between this circle and these here. So what we will need to do is to click on the template, and we are going to reduce the size. And we're going to bring it back, and we're going to compare it. Okay, it's not quite there. So because it's just one grid with some holes on it, we can't release these holes so that we can figure out what is the size of it. So we have to just keep reducing it, and we are going to use this circle to make sure that we come down to the correct size. All right, so let's go ahead and reduce it some more. Let's come back up, and we're getting closer. So that actually looks about right. So if we take our red dot and overlay it, basically we can see that we have, it's pretty much the same size. Okay, all right, so they look just about right. So basically, if we size our grid to 8.32 by 8.32, our whole sizes will be equivalent to SS6 rhinestones. That's simple. You just need to reduce the size of the 12 by 12 grid until your whole sizes are the same as the size of an SS6 rhinestone. All right, so we're gonna keep our red dot over here so that we can use it again for other steps. So now that we have reduced the size of our 12 by 12 grid to 8.32 by 8.32, if you want to have a 12 by 12 or SS6, then you would need to go back to the video that I showed you on how to make this rhinestone and make your circle sizes what you would need for SS6 if you want to have a 12 by 12 grid. All right, but if you just want, if you're okay with an 8 by 8 grid, then you can just resize the 12 by 12 grid to 8.32, and that will give you the SS6 rhinestones. Okay, so to test it out, we're just going to go ahead and grab a small heart from here. So this is a test cut, so we don't want to make it too big. We're just going to go ahead and put that here on the grid. All right, so let's shift this over a bit, see if we can get the edges covered. Let's see if we can make it big enough to cover the edges on both sides. All right, that looks good. So we want to have both edges covered as much as possible so that it reduces the number of hole replacements that we have to do. So all of this, you will be able to see it in the other videos. All right, this is just a quick cut that we're going to do to allow us to test if we reduced the template to the right size for us to put SS6 rhinestones in it. So this portion, we're just testing it out. All right, so let's go ahead and create it. So we need to just select our grid, and we need to select our heart. We come over to the slice, click on that. All right, so we have our slice. So this is basically what we need. So let's go ahead and delete everything else. Delete all those pieces. So this is what we want. And as you can see on the edges, we pretty much have all the holes that we need. What we have, let's zoom up again. So what we need to do is to get rid of all these pieces. All right. So what will happen is we will do a hole replacement right here. We will do a hole replacement right here and right here. So all of these that are partial holes, we will do a hole replacement. Wanted to keep this circle so that we can do that hole replacement. Okay, so before I move on to contouring away these partial holes that we have, I'm going to duplicate this. So the reason for duplicating it is so that as I go through and I remove these partial holes, I can remember exactly where I removed them from and put a new hole in its place. All right, so let's click on this one and go to contour. All right, so our contour box is up, and what we're going to do is hide the partial holes. All right, so we can go ahead and click right here and it will be grayed out and it won't be there anymore. So what we can do now is to take a look at this one to determine which ones we're going to put back. All right, so let's go ahead and duplicate these circles. So we are just going to come over to the right here where it says duplicate and we make a few of them. So we can see that we should have one right here. All right, let's line that up well. No. Okay, and we are missing a circle from this corner right here. That's it. We've done all our hole replacements. All right, so we can just go ahead and select all of this and we go over to combine and weld. All right, and that's our heart. So we can go ahead and just delete everything that we have here. We don't need any of these anymore. And we have our welded heart. And these should be set for SS6. All right. So in doing this, all we have to do now is go to make it on a mat. All right. So we're making it pretty small because we're just testing it to make sure SS6 rhinestones can fit in it. All right, so let's pull this up. Okay, and it is coming out. I have some stuff there, but in the main it's coming out. And I'm trying not to stretch out the holes as I pull this off. Okay, so there we are. We have a number of them in there. We need to just try and get those out of there. Okay, some more came out. All right, so here's my heart. I have one or two of them in there that did not cut all the way around. Possibly I didn't have it quite flat. Maybe I had a bubble underneath it, so it didn't cut all the way around. So I just removed that. So we're gonna see if we sized it, but most of them are fine. So we're gonna see if we sized it properly, and we're gonna just go ahead and add our SS6 rhinestones. Okay, so these are some SS6 rhinestones that I got from Amazon. So let's go ahead this side and add these. We just want to make sure that we sized it correctly. Go ahead. Yep. And there we have it. SS6 rhinestones from converting the SS10 Rhinestone Grid. Okay, everybody, there you go. We had a 12 by 12 SS10 Rhinestone Grid that we could use to convert SVGs into rhinestone templates. One of you wanted to know, can we adjust the size to make it SS6? So we went through that process, and as you can see, it cut out great in the rocket flock. We were able to easily brush in our SS6 rhinestones, and we ended up with our heart. So it works. You can reduce the size. So remember, if you're using the 12 by 12 SS10 Rhinestone Grid, you can convert that, you can reduce it to 8.32 by 8.32, and you will have an 8 by 8 grid for SS6. So thanks for watching. I hope this was useful. If it was, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.